I'm Claire from Created the Ottaway. I'm an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up! Here in the UK. Thank you for joining me today. A little bit of a change in the weather here. It's actually got a bit cooler, which I'm very relieved about. I'm an autumn girl myself. Love the colours, love wrapping up warm, all sorts of stuff. And the sea where I live gets a little bit wilder, and I like that. I like walking along the sea when it's wild. So today's craft along, in a recent workshop with some of my ladies that come to me, we were talking about embossing folders and how we don't really use them enough. Embossing folders are like this. They fold over, you slip a bit of card in, run it through a die cutting machine, and then you get an impression that's left behind, like this one here. This one is the Fern 3D embossing folder from Stampin' Up! Currently my favourite. You don't have favourites until you do. Really loving it, and I'm using it a lot. So I don't want to get too complicated about 101 different uses for embossing folders. I just thought I would give you a neat little make that uses it very easily. You can do it with any of your stash that you've got. I've obviously used Stampin' Up! Stuff because it's my absolute fave. I've used the embossing folder, I've used some rectangle dies. This die cut sentiment is from Amazing Thanks die set, I think it is. I will look that up afterwards and let you know, but it's like 2 layers to it. That's the cat knocking everything over. Amber, come here. And then I've used this Forever Fern set for the dies, just so that the emphasis is on the embossing rather than on any stamping or anything else. And I've just layered that in the same colours. So, just let Rosie in as well. You can tell there's a change in the weather because they're back indoors all the time. Okay, let's move that out to one side. So this time, with the one that I'm going to show you on camera, I'm actually going to do it in a few different greens. So Stampin' Up! Have a huge colour collection. They actually do colour families in colours, brights, neutrals, regals and subtles. Just loads and loads of colours. I think it's 10, 20, 30, 40, 55, 54, something like that, if you include all the basic white and the vanillas and all stuff like that. Now, they're in colour families so that it helps you coordinate, but also you can jump across colour families. So if you looked at how many greens there are, there's 2, 4, 6, maybe 8, 9, 10. So there's loads. So I just got all my colours out. I quite fancy doing a green card, and I've just looked through and I've gone for these 3 colours. So they are from different families. One is, now what colour was that? I think that was Mossy Meadow, because that's one of my favourites. I like greens. I like greens and I like blues. This is Mossy Meadow. This is Old Olive, which is my absolute favourite. Did you notice I'm saying favourites a lot today? And this one, what was that one that I decided on? Pear Pizzazz. Okay, so those 3 colours are going to help me make a wow embossing card. So how are we going to do that? Well, first of all, we're just going to cut our base card. I'll just move that a bit so you know who I am. Okay, so I have got a normal piece of A4 card, and I'm turning it on the long side and I'm cutting it in half, which is roughly 5 7/8. So that gives me enough to make 2 cards should I want to. I'm going to turn it so it's on the long side again, and this time I am scoring it at 4 1/8. Okay, so that then in turn gives me a standard base card. Okay, job done, you think? No, we're going to do the embossing next. So I want a piece of card that almost exactly fits on the top. Now with my first one, I did it on a normal white card base, so it really stands out. This time I want to do it on the colour that I've chosen there, Mossy Meadow. So I'm going to try and see what that does with that. So the first thing I'm doing is cutting a top layer. Now that was 4 1/8, so I'm going to do it at 4 inches. And then the other way was 5 7/8. So this time I'm going to do it 5 6/8, which is also 5 3/4. So let's cut that. Oh, my blade got caught there. Must be something in my runner. Okay, I'll sort that out. So I've cut my square, but how do I get this layered effect? So, taking a die cut shape. So I'm going to use my rectangle dies, and I've got 2 there. Oh, sorry Rose, hang on. Here you go. There you go. Okay, so what I'm looking for is 2 sizes. One slightly smaller than the other. So I've picked these ones. So the size of that is, let's have a look, it's just over 3, so sort of 3 1/8 by 4 1/2. That's that one, and then it's the next size down from that. So the first thing I'm going to do on this piece of card, remember this is the layer for the top, I am going to run it through my die cutting machine. So I haven't embossed it, I haven't done anything else. I'm using the smaller rectangle, and I'm just going to cut that size out. Now I roughly want it in the middle. Well, not roughly, I want it in the middle, but I'm just going to do it quickly by eye, if I can, that is. Let's bring that over to me. So if I bring that over, so if I pull the die off, but try and keep it in place so you can see. So now we've got that shape, die cut out, but I'm leaving it as a hole. Okay. Then I get my embossing folder, open it up. Now which way round do I want it? I want it so the impression comes upwards. Okay, so that means it dips in the leaves there. Now, one last thing. I am going to spritz my paper all over, because that will give me a nice deep impression. And I'll run that through the die cutting machine again. And this time what happens is, you can see it's die cut in one piece. Doesn't that look amazing, that fern on that dark green? Absolutely loving that. Okay, so there's that. Now I need to let that dry a bit, but for the sake of the video I am going to carry on. Put that to one side so you can see it. Now if I bring my card back over, what I'm going to be doing is I will stick this bit straight on there when it's dry. Okay, and then if I stuck this bit straight on the top, it's not going to look anything. So what I'm going to do is raise it up a bit by using the bigger die to cut a bigger rectangle, so it will hide the join. Does that make sense? So I just need to decide which green is going to be the bigger one. I think it's going to be the lighter, because I think that will give me a bit of shadow. So let's cut that out a bit. So I'm going to put that through my die cutting machine. See what that looks like now. Oh, don't think it's die cut across there. Let's just trim that. Some scissors here. It's always the way, it doesn't matter how much prep you do, as soon as you go to video. There you go. So that one just ever so slightly covers over the join, and that's going to go on there, and then that will go on there. Oh, that's nice, but that's quite a big border, and I don't really want such a big border this time, so I'm going to cut another colour and layer it in between. Now what I need is the size in between this and this, so I'm going to measure this, which is, it's 2 5/8, and I'm going to measure this, and that is 3. Right, let's see. So that's 3 inches, and that's 2 5/8. So the size that I'm going to cut inches. 1. That's 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to do 1.5. Right, let me check it first, and then I'll tell you what it is. Because what I'm trying to do is exactly do it. Yes, that's lovely. Been all funny now. Okay. So what did I do? Let's recap. So that's going to get stuck on there. I'm just waiting for it to dry. This bit is my top layer. This bit I'm going to layer it on as well. But now I want to put a layer in between. So rather than just going 1/8 of an inch round, what I'm trying to do is find what the size is in between. So I measure this one, and it's 3 inches. And I measure this one, and it is 2 5. So that it means there's 3/8 in between. So I need to split that in half. So that means that this bit is 2 and 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 2 and 13 16ths. If you're struggling with measurements, go back 3 little lines from the 3 inch. So if I bring that up, can you see? There's 3 inches, and I've gone back 3 little lines. So now I want to do the same with the other side. So I measure it long ways, and it is 4 and 3, and 4 3/8. This one is 4, so half of 3/8. So it is 4 and 1, 2, 3 16ths. Right, we'll keep everything crossed, because that was quite a bit of a complicated. How do you get the right size in between? Let's have a look, see if we're right. So that's going to be one layer. That's going to be that layer. This is if you want to be exact. If you don't want to be exact, just go for it. There's no rules in crafting, just happy accidents. Okay, and that is going to go on the top of there, like so. Loving that. Right, dare I try and stick this while it's a little bit wet and see what happens. I definitely can put that on there. Let's see if I've even got the glue through. Yeah. So that can definitely go onto that bit. If there's any glue in my pot. Come on, glue fairy. Oh, look, it's not going to be now. No glue left. Oh, oh, oh. It's coming. She heard me. Thank you. Okay, that is going to go on there. Be a bit sparing with the glue. See if we can make it last the whole card. So that one's going to go on like that. Like that. Really like that. So remember, I have got Pear Pizzazz and Old Olive. Now this one is going to go on the top of there. And I'm going to try and stick it. Well, let's do some double-sided because I don't think the glue is going to last. So let's quickly put some double-sided on there. This is a bit of a fun interactive video. That's definitely a bit wet. Let's see what this looks like on here. Oh, that's peeling the paper off because it's still a little bit wet. I should have done here's one I prepared earlier. Next time. Okay, so that is going to go on there. Now I'm going to turn that over so I can really press on that rather than pressing on straight on the embossed leaf. Okay, look at that. That really is lovely, that Merry Murloc. Can you see the detail on that fern? Love it. Right, what do I do about this? Shall I do some glue? Still a little bit wet. Let's see what happens. It's not soaking wet, but it's damp. You know when it's still curling up the edges? So we might not be able to glue our leaves on the top, but hopefully we can get this in place. I'm just going to turn it sideways so that I can try and get it central, like so. Just lightly press that round, and then again I'm going to turn it over and press from the back, and then I won't feel like I'm pushing down on the embossed bit. Okay, I think that will do. Okay, let's have a look. Yeah, you can see it's still a little bit damp there, but that's fine. So that's really nice on its own there. You could do something on there, make a shaker card out of that. How my mind wanders. Right, back to this card. So now I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of that. Doesn't need loads. You're either really stingy with your dimensionals or you use far too many. There's not really any in between. I think I'm erring on the stingy side, but we'll see. Okay, so this is going to go on the front of my card, and because I've covered up where it would join, it's going to give it some depth, and this is just by putting it through the embossing folder once. Just layering your card. Oh my goodness, that is lovely. Love Stampin' Up. Look at that. I hope you can see the detail on that. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So now the worst bit is I'm going to decide what colours to do these different leaves. So I think that maybe the background one should be that. So we can do that. And then this one should be, oh, I think that needs to be the darker colour. So the Merry Murloc, let's do that. And then the light the little one at the front. What did I do on here? I did it in the white. So I think that could be in the pear pizzazz colour. Because although it's light, let's see what they come out like. Let's do that. The last bit of die cutting. Right, let's have a look. Let's see what's happened to these. Ooh, that is nice. I like that. Just take those extra bits out. What about this one? What does this one look like? In the old olive. These are so lovely, these dies. You can layer them on so many things. You can make them in vellum for wedding cards, on christening cards or new baby. You can cut them out in basic white and then colour them with your blends. They never fail. Look at that. You can cut it into smaller pieces. So that was going to go there. This one is going to go there. Oh, I like that. I feel like actually, now I'm looking at it, it feels like it needs a little bit of silver or something. Just seeing that die cut silver against it, just to lift it, I might do that. And then that is the bottom one. Love it. Okay, so I am not going to take up any more of your time fiddling with that. If you want to check back on my Instagram account or my Facebook page, I will finish that off and show you. I definitely feel like it needs a little bit of blinging. Like this one, I put some sparkle ribbon and some little, what are they called? Embellishments on the top that are sparkly to catch the light. I definitely think this one needs that as well. But I much prefer the layered green than just the plain white. How about you? Which one do you prefer? So that's it. Thank you for watching and for your patience while I die cut off screen. What else do I need to tell you? Go use your embossing folders. There are loads of uses for them, 101 different ways to use them. Absolutely find it on Pinterest or Google or anything, but this is a very, very simple way of using one folder, one die, and away you go. Thanks for watching. Bye.